Every October 11, the world celebrates the International Day of the Girl Child. This year, the theme was The Girl I Am, The Change I Lead, Girls on the Front Lines of Crisis. It highlighted how girls are not just victims, but active agents of change who need support and protection to realize their full potential. I commemorated the day with a public speaking webinar tagged Speak Up Girl, because I know that agents of change should have a voice, own it, and have spaces to be heard. That event, however, got me thinking about the condition of the girl child in Nigeria, how they're coping with toxic masculinity, and the steady trafficking of our girls to other West African countries. Recent information shows that Nigerian girls are being trafficked to Burkina Faso, primarily for prostitution and forced labor, particularly in gold mining camps. In 2019, about 10,000 Nigerian girls were forced into prostitution in Burkina Faso, many of them underage, working in Ouagadougou and mining camps. In early 2025, Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps arrested suspects involved in trafficking a 16-year-old girl to Burkina Faso for prostitution. The girl was later rescued, thankfully, and reunited with her family. Nevertheless, trafficking of Nigerian girls to Burkina Faso remains a significant and disturbing human rights issue involving forced prostitution, labor exploitation in gold mining camps, and deceptive recruitment practices. We also have that in Ghana. NAPTIP reported rescuing 1,470 victims in 2021, of which 1,226 were females and 244 males. The theme this year focuses on recognizing the leadership, resilience, and strength of girls who are driving change in the face of crises such as conflict, climate disasters, and displacement. But we keep investing in girls while toxic masculinity is becoming the norm rather than the exception. Violence, dominance, emotional illiteracy, sexual entitlement, and hostility to femininity are on the increase in the society and on social media. Maya Angelou said, "I love to see a young girl go out and grab the world by the lapels." We must now work hard at closing the gap between these girls and the boys for the sake of harmony.
Speak up. The girls should speak up, right? Now, how about the men, the fathers? Who is listening when they speak up? I don't think anybody is. So we're empowering the girls, but I don't think anybody is listening, because the more that we advocate, the more the girls speak up, we can see from the numbers that you've quoted that trafficking, prostitution is increasing all the time. So this speaking up that we're speaking up, what is it doing really? Are we training the boys to be emotionally intelligent? You know, Mark talked about self-awareness, empathy. What are we teaching the boys? Culturally as well, I understand that there are parents that actually groom their children to go and do this prostitution and bring money home. So culture is also part of it. If a mother can let her 14-year-old travel, leave the country so that she can go and prostitute herself and save the family, that exists as well. So we must look into that. Igbo culture, part of them, some of them, also, you know, we don't really empower the girls. In fact, it's been said in recent times online, and I do agree that we have a nation that, the word that was used was hate. But I don't want to use a word that is that strong. But I think we have a nation that doesn't really empower women, doesn't really like the girl child. We always think that they're secondary, and that's why people dislike feminism. The true feminism, I'm not talking about the toxic femininity that people have misconstrued, the true feminism, which is equality. Which is, so a lot of people don't like it because they believe that the girls, you know, they're second class, they should be behind. So that awareness has to continue. But now we have what is an imbalance. At some point it was the guys, now it's the girls. Many marriages are crashing now, not because of because the man is cheating or things like that. The minute the lady has a little bit more money or anything like that, there's wahala. Men are not built to see a woman do better than them.
Over the time in the race towards this equality, there's a lot of resource that has gone into trying to create an equitable society. And in the process, we've left the boys behind. I keep saying it, and I thank you that you actually raised the point that, look, boys today are endangered species. We don't see the reality today because everybody is focused on the girl child, but we will see it in the next 20, 25 years, 50 years. It will be obvious. Okay, and some of us are seeing it in terms of the numbers of girls that are getting into school versus boys, the number of entry levels into workspaces.
Yes.
We are seeing it. We know that in the next 20 years, it's going to be glaring. And we know that the data is creating problems because you're looking at the national data, and then you add North versus South and all that. By the time you put all the data together, it looks like, no, it's still
there's still a gap.
There's still a gap. But when you disaggregate the data in terms of geopolitical zone, we have a crisis in the South. So, yes, the reality of the situation is what it is, especially at a time where DEI right now is not a favored conversation.
Yeah.
You know, United States had made it look like any conversation around DEI or trying to empower the girl is against the man. And they politicized it. They even brought religion into it. And so it's made it a much difficult conversation to have. But it is a conversation that we must have. Everybody must come to the table. Fathers, men, mentors must also understand that we have a responsibility first to talk to our boys, to make them understand that, look, as a boy, the idea that you cannot express yourself emotionally is BS. You can talk, you can express, it doesn't reduce your masculinity.
You can cry.
You know, and all that. You can cry.
Yeah.
You know, you can do all those kind of things. And that we need to learn to develop capacity the same way women and girls are being taught to develop capacity.
That's the
Because if you don't do so, that alpha female is going to go and marry that dysfunctional male.
That's
and
what we are seeing.
You're still going to have the same problem. So thanks for the advocacy. I hope we all get the message.
So also women are still very much marginalized in leadership and management. Also girls, you still see situations where in secondary school alumni group, they will tell you a woman can be president. I mean, it's ridiculous. But we've spent so much time raising girls while letting boys grow like trees. Like they are literally not raised. As far as you know, the only thing they tell boys is, just don't join cults. Or is that not what they tell them? But you know, you give girls so many ammunitions, you talk to them. And I don't think girls are over-empowered. I feel like there's still a huge gap, particularly in the economic space. There is still gender pay gap. It's still very much a thing. You will apply for the same role as a woman, and you'll be with a man on the same grade level in the same organization, and you'll be paid significantly lesser.
Does that happen in Nigeria? I know it happens overseas.
Oh, yes, it does happen in Nigeria.
I know it happens in South Africa, but Nigeria, really?
It does happen in Nigeria. It happened to a close friend recently. She was almost, doing a whistleblowing, but like, you'll not be attractive in the workspace anymore.
Right.
You don't want to put that spotlight on yourself. So these are things that still happens. Another concern I have is boys are being raised by women because the men have refused to step up.
So what's wrong in women raising the boys?
Women don't have the range. I'm raising a boy and a girl. I know I don't have adequate range to raise a boy alone. Because there are so many questions it's got that I don't understand it. So it's very important for men to step up.
Right.
To show up. And they need to provide emotional and social support for the boys. So where the boys are lacking are in the emotional and social support. They don't have it, and a woman can provide it for them. The men have to do it.
I also want to say something on this table today that is very important. I think the fact that we consistently demonize men, women, the male gender, calling men predators, calling them toxic masculinity, making men feel like we are a bullet looking for where to enter and destroy. We are atomic bombs. Doesn't also help the conversation around gender equality and feminism. It doesn't even bring the men who really want to be he for she on the table, because you're already creating that barrier to say, listen, this guy is a predator. And so okay, if I'm a predator, okay, that's fine. That's what you labeled me.
It's like the conversation we had at the green room.
Exactly.
When the lady just looked at us and said, the men are the predators. I should just look at the two of us.
And this is, so
I mean, I understand, which was why we corrected her immediately that not all men are predators. But the term toxic masculinity is there. You have tons of academic articles.
So there are also women that are toxic.
There are.
So the thing is that human beings are toxic.
Yeah.
Let's not genderize it and make it look and weaponize it against ourselves.
Okay.
So human beings are toxic, no problem. Men are scum, women are scum. Everybody is scum.
Scum has no gender.
Exactly. So let us be so that we can help each other and live peaceably in this life. Because the moment we begin to say, "Oh, this one is this person
toxic.
Is wicked, is toxic." This is after a while you own it with your full chest and say, "Okay, after all they've said I'm toxic." It's like just
let me
labeling somebody.
Toxicity. I get you.
So we need to try as much as we can to be kind to each other and kinder in the words that we use to describe one another.
When we talk a good game about empowering the girl child and our actions tell a different story, then our lived experiences will judge us. Let's not be judged.